I walked into the living room, humming a tune from work, expecting the usual warmth of home. Instead, I froze. Mom, Dad, where's my savings account statement? I asked, holding up my phone. Margaret looked up from the couch, eyes widening. What are you talking about, honey? She said, her voice trembling just enough to make me doubt myself. The one I've been saving for years, I said, trying to keep my voice calm. All the money I put aside, it's gone. David leaned back, arms crossed. Gone? I think you're mistaken, son. Maybe you miscalculated. I checked it this morning. I snapped. Every dollar, it's zero. Completely gone. Did one of you touch it? Margaret's hands flew to her chest. How could you accuse us of something like that? We've always supported you. Supported me. I laughed bitterly. You mean emotionally draining me and financially leeching off me while I worked my ass off? David's face hardened. That's enough. You're being selfish. You think the world owes you money? I'm not asking for the world. I shouted. I'm asking for my money, my hard-earned money. Do you even realize what you've done? Margaret's voice shook. We just needed it, that's all. Don't make this worse than it is. Needed it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You used my savings because you needed it? After everything I've done for you? David stood towering over me. And you think you've done enough? You think a few deposits into your little bank account make you responsible. Life doesn't work that way, son. You'll learn soon enough. I trusted you, I whispered, feeling my chest tighten. I trusted you both more than anyone else. And this is how you repay me? Margaret's eyes glistened. We're your parents. We didn't mean to hurt you. We only wanted, I don't want your excuses. I cut her off, shaking. I want my money back. Or at least an honest explanation. David smirked. Maybe you should look at it this way. You've got more life experience now. Money comes and goes. Learn the lesson. Couldn't move. My entire future, the safety net I'd built, evaporated in a single conversation. Betrayal, disbelief, and rage all collided in my chest. I grabbed my phone and texted Alex, "Need you now." Almost instantly, a reply popped up. On my way. Don't do anything stupid. Within minutes, Alex was at my apartment. He didn't knock. He barged in, raising his eyebrows. Whoa, you sound like a hurricane. What happened? They took everything, I said, voice breaking. Everything I saved. They lied to me. They told everyone I'm selfish for asking about it. Alex's jaw tightened. That's messed up. Seriously messed up. Do you want to talk? Or do you want to smash something? Talk, I said, sinking onto the couch. I just don't know what to do. I can't believe this. My own parents. He flopped beside me, shaking his head. I know, man. But we'll figure this out. You're not alone. I exhaled, trying to calm the storm inside me. For the first time, I realized something. My life would never be the same. The people I trusted the most had betrayed me, and I had no choice but to pick up the pieces or let it destroy me. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My phone buzzed again, another message from a coworker. Hey, is it true? You left your parents in their time of need? It read. I stared at it, stomach twisting. What? I grabbed my laptop and opened my email. Dozens of messages, texts, even social media myths. Everyone I knew was asking the same question. Did you really abandon your parents? I ran to the kitchen. Mom, Dad? I shouted. What the hell are you telling people? Margaret looked up from her tea, calm as ever. I don't know what you mean, dear. Why would we say something like that? Don't lie. I snapped, slamming my phone on the counter. I have messages, emails. People are asking if I'm some heartless son. How could you do this? David leaned against the fridge, arms crossed. We're just explaining our side. You think it's easy for us? Your side, I said, incredulous. You're twisting the truth. I never abandoned anyone. I saved, I worked. You think life is fair? David interrupted. People see what they want. Maybe they'll understand someday, but right now, it's your fault for making a big deal about money. Money? I laughed bitterly. You stole my money, and now everyone thinks I abandoned you? Margaret's voice quivered slightly. We didn't mean to hurt your reputation. People misunderstand sometimes. Misunderstand? I shouted. Misunderstand? I trusted you both. And now everyone I know thinks I'm a liar? A selfish kid? Margaret looked down. Maybe we went too far. We just needed people to understand our side. Needed people to lie for you? I said, pacing. I can't believe this. I can't even go outside without someone judging me. My coworkers, my neighbors, they're all whispering behind my back. David finally spoke, voice low but firm. You need to accept that people will talk. It's life. I felt my hands shake. Life. You've turned my life into a nightmare. I sank onto the couch and texted Alex. They're spreading lies. Everyone thinks I left them. I can't handle this alone. A moment later, his reply popped up. I'm coming. Stay put. Alex arrived 20 minutes later, storming in. Damn, man. You look like you're about to explode, Spill. They're telling everyone I abandoned them, I said, voice breaking. My coworkers, neighbors, even Uncle Frank. He's starting to doubt me because of what they said. That's ridiculous. You didn't leave them. They're twisting your life into their little story. They're good at it, I muttered. Everyone seems to believe them. I can feel it. People looking at me differently. Alex rubbed my shoulder. Then let's show them the truth. Step 1. We document everything. Step 2. We plan how to confront them publicly. And step 3 is making sure they regret ever lying. I nodded, swallowing hard. I've started journaling everything. Every message, every email. I can't let this go unchecked. I need to protect my life, my reputation. You're not alone, man, Alex said. We'll do this together. These people don't know you like I do, I exhaled. A little of the tension easing. I just hate that it's come to this. I hate that they can ruin my life with a few words, and there's nothing I can do until I act. Alex smirked. Then we act. Not now, maybe not today, but soon. And when we do, they won't see it coming. I looked around the apartment, feeling both trapped and strangely determined. I'll never let them get away with this. I won't let them turn my life upside down. Not anymore. Alex nodded. Good. That fire in youth, that's what's going to make everything right. Let's plan carefully. Every move counts. I pulled out my notebook and began writing, letting my anger, despair, and confusion pour onto the page. It was the first step toward reclaiming control, toward surviving the storm my parents had unleashed. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the photos. My parents, David and Margaret, sipping champagne at some upscale restaurant, laughing as if life had no consequences. And the receipts. My receipts. Every purchase matched the exact amount from my savings account. I shoved my phone across the kitchen counter. Mom, Dad, explain this. Margaret looked up, feigning surprise. Photos. What photos? These photos. I shouted, slapping the phone down. You're using my money. Your excuse being I abandoned you, and now you're living it up like nothing happened? David narrowed his eyes. You need to calm down. You're blowing this out of proportion? Calm down. I laughed bitterly. I trusted you. I saved for years to build a future, and you spent it on fancy dinners and trips while lying about me to everyone. Margaret's voice shook. We didn't lie. We only what? I cut her off, hands shaking. Only make everyone believe I'm heartless? Only ruin my reputation? David's face went hard. Life isn't fair, son. You should know that by now. We did what we had to do. I can't believe this, I muttered, sinking into the couch. My heart pounded, a mix of anger and despair twisting inside me. I should walk away, maybe forgive, maybe confront them. I don't know what to do. Just then my phone buzzed. Alex, coffee shop. Now, I didn't hesitate. I'm coming, I texted, grabbing my keys and storming out. Alex was already waiting when I arrived, frowning the moment he saw me. Whoa, you look like hell. What happened this time? They spent my savings, I said, voice tight. And they still act like I'm the villain. I don't know whether to scream, cry, or take revenge. Alex shook his head. You're not thinking clearly. We need a plan. This isn't just about money anymore. It's about your life, your reputation. Step 1. Document everything. Step 2. Strategize. Step 3. Let them realize they can't get away with it. I've started journaling, I admitted. Every transaction, every lie, every message. I can't let this go unchecked. But I don't know if I should confront them now or wait. Patience, Alex said. We wait until the timing is right. When we strike, it's full force. But you also need to protect yourself in the meantime. That means work, people, and your sanity. I sighed. Even at work, people are looking at me differently. Mr. Harris pulled me aside yesterday. Said he heard rumors. Said I might not be a team player? Alex's jaw tightened. That's why we fix your reputation first. Exposure comes later. Don't let their lies ruin your future. I nodded, biting my lip. I hate feeling powerless. I hate that every day I have to pretend nothing happened. Keep my cool while they live lavishly off my money, and everyone whispers behind my back. Alex leaned closer. Then don't just sit there. You're stronger than this. Use that anger. Channel it. You're not a victim, you're someone who can take control. I took a deep breath. You're right. I can't let them dictate my life anymore. I need to think strategically, plan carefully, and reclaim what's mine financially and socially. Exactly, Alex said, nodding. And remember, I've got your back. You won't be doing this alone, ever. Later that evening, I sat down with Jenna, Alex's sister, over a video call. You have to be careful, she said, brows furrowed. People believe stories they want to believe. Gather evidence, protect yourself legally, and be calm. Your parents' lies won't survive scrutiny if you play it right. I feel trapped, I admitted, closing my notebook. But I also feel awake, like I finally see their true colors. And now I can act. Jenna smiled faintly. Good. That clarity is power. Use it wisely. I stared at the ceiling, heart still pounding but mind sharper than ever. My parents had pushed me to the edge. I was furious, betrayed, and exhausted. But for the first time, I saw a path forward. A path that would let me reclaim my life and show them exactly what happens when someone underestimates me. I sat at my desk, notebook open, pen ready. Every transaction, every message, every lie my parents had told was carefully logged. I couldn't let anything slip. Alex leaned back in the chair across from me. You're like a detective, he said with a smirk. But man, this is serious. You're not just documenting, you're building a case. I have to, I replied. If I don't, they'll keep getting away with it. Everyone already believes their version. Alex nodded. So, what's step 1? Step 1 is clarity, I said. I need professional advice. Someone who understands finances and legal loopholes. I called Clara the financial advisor. She's smart, and she doesn't sugarcoat anything. Later that afternoon, Clara's office smelled faintly of coffee and leather. I explained everything, flipping through my organized files. I see the pattern, Clara said, eyes scanning receipts. They've been systematically draining your accounts. But you've done the right thing by documenting it. With this, you have leverage. Leverage for what? I asked, my jaw tight. Leverage to negotiate, recover, or expose, she said firmly. But you have to move strategically. Don't let emotions guide you. Everything must be precise. I nodded, feeling a mix of relief and frustration. Relief that someone finally validated what I already knew. Frustration that my parents had forced me into this position back home. I peeked out the window. Mrs. Thompson, my neighbor, waved from across the street. She'd seen David and Margaret hosting lavish parties, leaving me out of the picture. I stepped outside. Mrs. Thompson, can we talk? She looked cautious. Of course, dear. Is everything all right? I swallowed. I need witnesses. People who know the truth. Have you seen them spending money from my account? She hesitated, glancing toward their house. I saw some extravagant dinners and trips. I didn't know it was yours, but now it makes sense. I can back you up if needed. My chest tightened. Small victory, I thought. Someone else knows. Someone else believes me. That evening, Alex and I spread across the dining table with notebooks, phones, and receipts. All right, he said, leaning forward. We can't rush, but we can start creating a strategy. First, prioritize which contacts to repair: friends, neighbors, anyone your parents tried to sway. I nodded, tapping my pen against my notebook. Then we gather evidence quietly. No confrontations yet, just documentation and support. Once the pieces are in place, we confront them. Alex grinned. And when that day comes, they won't see it coming. Total shock factor. I allowed a small smile. Exactly. They've underestimated me for too long. They think I'll crumble under the humiliation, that I'll forgive them blindly. But I've learned patience, Alex. Patience and precision. He leaned back, hands behind his head. You're calm now, but I know the fire is still there. That's the best combination-controlled rage. Let's channel it, step by step. I flipped through my journal, rereading notes on past conversations, receipts, and suspicious activity. Each entry reinforced my plan, each scribble fueling my determination. Also, I said, we need allies. Clara is one. Mrs. Thompson is another. Anyone else I can trust to observe and support me, even discreetly. Alex nodded. Good. Build a network. That way, when you strike, it's not just you against them. It's your truth against their lies. I exhaled, leaning back in my chair. The tension in my shoulders eased slightly. I had small victories: documentation, witnesses, professional advice, and a clear path forward. For the first time since this nightmare began, I felt like I had control. But I knew it wasn't over. Not by a long shot. The calm I projected was just the surface. Beneath it, a storm brewed, and soon my parents would feel the full force of a plan they never saw coming. I took a deep breath before walking into my parents' living room. My notebook was tucked under my arm, a folder full of receipts and screenshots in my hand. Today I wasn't the betrayed son. I was someone ready to expose the truth. Mom, Dad, I began, voice calm but firm. We need to talk. All of us. Margaret's eyes widened. Talk? About what? About everything, I said, placing the folder on the table. All the lies, all the money you took from me, and all the people you've misled. David's jaw tightened. I don't know what you're trying to prove. You're overreacting. Overreacting? I asked, voice rising slightly. Do you see this? I opened the folder, showing receipts and photos of luxury dinners, shopping sprees, and trips, my money in every single one. This is what you've been spending, claiming I abandoned you. You lied to friends, family, neighbors, even colleagues. Margaret flinched. It's not what you think. Not what I think? I leaned forward. People already know. Uncle Frank, Mrs. Thompson. They saw things for themselves. And now, you're about to face the truth in front of them. David scoffed. And what if they don't believe you? You think they'll just take your side? I smiled coldly. Some will, some won't. But the cracks in your story are already visible. And I have more than just receipts. Witnesses. People who know the truth. You can try to deny it, but it's only a matter of time before everyone sees it for themselves. Margaret's voice quavered. You don't have to humiliate us like this. I'm not humiliating you, I said. I'm showing reality. You created this situation with your lies and theft. I'm just making sure it doesn't continue. David's face darkened. You think you're clever, but people might still believe us. We raised you. Don't forget that. I remember, I said softly. And I remember every late night I worked, every penny I saved while you told stories about me. That memory is why I can stand here and fight now. Later that day, I met with Sophie at a small cafe. I heard what happened, she said, voice low. I believed them at first. I'm sorry, shook my head. It's okay. I understand why you did, but now I'm clearing the air. The evidence is on my side, and I've got witnesses who can back me up. Sophie reached across the table, squeezing my hand. I'm glad you're taking a stand. I never doubted you completely. I just needed proof. I've been building that proof for months, I said, taking a sip of coffee. Now, I can finally repair some of the relationships they tried to destroy. Alex joined us later, smirking. So, first strike. Yes, I said, leaning back. I confronted them. Publicly enough for some to see the truth. And cracks are already showing. Mom tried excuses. Dad is defensive. But it's working. People are starting to question them. Alex nodded. Feels good, right? Vindicating, yes, I admitted. But bitter too. Bitter that it had to come to this. Bitter that they made me doubt myself and my relationships for so long. You're not done, Alex said. This is just the beginning. But seeing them squirm? That's the thrill. I smiled faintly. It is. And with Mr. Carlson helping me legally, I can make sure they face the consequences of their actions. Not just socially, but properly. Sophie raised an eyebrow. You're turning the tables, huh? I have to, I said, voice steady. They underestimated me. Everyone did. But now, the first strike has been made, and I feel empowered. Angry, but empowered. Alex leaned back. Good. That fire in youth, that's the real weapon. Keep it controlled, and you'll finish what you started. I nodded, feeling the weight of months of betrayal lift slightly. Small victories. Yes, but the bigger plan was just beginning. And this time, no one would stop me from reclaiming everything. I woke to my phone buzzing with messages. Some from relatives, others from coworkers. A strange sense of anticipation gripped me as I scrolled. The whispers my parents had carefully cultivated were turning back on them. Alex's text popped. Looks like the first cracks are showing. How's it feel? I typed back. Like watching a storm I helped set in motion. Satisfying, but weird. By mid-morning, Sophie called. Have you seen the messages? She asked, voice low, but excited. People are questioning your parents' story. Uncle Frank called me conflicted. Finally, I exhaled, leaning back in my chair. It's surreal. For years, I felt trapped under their lies, and now they're unraveling. Sophie laughed softly. It's karma in action. You don't have to do anything except show the truth. Others will notice. I frowned slightly. But part of me, I don't know if I feel just satisfaction or something darker. Seeing them falter, hearing people doubt them, it's like I'm feeding a fire that might change me. Alex's call came right after. Morning, man. Heard about the social fallout. Yeah, I said. People I thought would blindly support them are asking questions, even neighbors. Mrs. Thompson texted she's been confirming some of the stories I documented. That's good, Alex said. It's all part of the plan. But remember what we talked about. Don't lose yourself in this. Keep your integrity intact. You're stronger now, financially and emotionally. Let that guide you. I nodded, staring out the window at the sunlight reflecting off the city. I feel free in a way. I no longer revolve around them. My life isn't dictated by their manipulation. But there's still a gnawing feeling, like revenge has a cost I didn't anticipate. Sophie joined me for lunch. You look calmer today, she said, smiling. Do you feel different? Different, I admitted. I have control. Money is back where it belongs. My reputation is slowly repairing, and my friends are coming around. But I wonder, has this process hardened me, made me cynical? She reached across the table, touching my hand. I don't think so. I think it made you wiser. You're more aware of people's motives and you've learned to protect yourself. It's not cynicism. That's growth. I smiled faintly. I hope you're right, because sometimes watching their social credibility collapse is pleasant. And yet I feel guilty for taking any enjoyment in their downfall. They're still my parents. Alex appeared later at my apartment, holding 2 coffees. You look like you've been reflecting, he said, handing me one. I have, I admitted, taking a sip. I'm proud of what's happening, but I can't deny the emotional toll. Every victory comes with a reminder of betrayal, anger, and the time I lost. Alex shrugged. That's life. But the difference now is you're in charge. You're not reacting blindly. You're calculating. That's power. By evening, messages kept rolling, and relatives distancing themselves from David and Margaret. Neighbors exchanging shocked glances when they saw the couple at local events. Coworkers questioning their credibility. The facade my parents had carefully built was crumbling piece by piece. I texted Sophie. It's happening. They're facing consequences. But why do I feel exhausted? She replied. Because revenge even just takes energy. You're not a robot. You feel what comes with it. That's human. I nodded to myself, sipping coffee. My thoughts drifted back to my parents' Margaret, trying to explain herself to Uncle Frank, David muttering excuses that sounded hollow even to him. Part of me felt pity, a fleeting recognition of their frailty. But the part that had been hurt for years felt vindicated. Alex clapped a hand on my shoulder. This is the first real test. You've gained emotionally, financially, socially, and you've stayed mostly sane. That's rare. Most people crumble in revenge. I allowed a small smile. Mostly sane, I muttered. I still have moments when I question if I've changed too much. But seeing them isolated, their lies questioned, it's a relief. And maybe, in time, forgiveness might be possible. But not yet. Not now. By nightfall, I sat alone, journal open, pen in hand. I documented everything: the downfall, the lessons, the moral cost. It was exhausting, but necessary. Each word reminded me of how far I'd come. Karma had begun to unfold, and for once I felt I was watching it as a participant, not a victim. And in that controlled observation, in the midst of moral satisfaction and lingering bitterness, I realized the truth. I was no longer defined by my parents' betrayal. I was defined by my actions, my resilience, and the life I was finally reclaiming. I stood at the doorway, taking a deep breath before stepping inside. My hands gripped the folder with all the evidence I had collected. Every receipt, message, and photo meticulously organized. Today, there would be no hesitation. Mom, Dad, I began, voice steady. We need to talk. All of us. Margaret looked up, her eyes flickering with apprehension. Is this necessary? Yes, I said. It's necessary. For years, I've carried the weight of your lies, your manipulation, and your theft. I've tried to be patient, to understand, to forgive, but patience has limits. David shifted, jaw tight. You're overreacting. You think you can prove something with paper and photos? I opened the folder, spreading the evidence on the table. This isn't just paper. This is every lie you've told, every penny you spent from my savings, while claiming I abandoned you. People I trusted, people you misled, have seen through your stories. Your credibility is gone, and your excuses are meaningless now. Margaret's lips trembled. It wasn't supposed to come to this. We just needed help. Needed help? I asked, voice barely controlled. You used my hard-earned money and destroyed my reputation in the process. That's not need. That's selfishness. That's manipulation. And now, you're facing the consequences. Not just financially, but socially and morally. David's eyes darkened. You think showing receipts and messages will fix everything? You can't undo the past. I'm not trying to fix the past, I said, taking a breath. I'm holding it accountable. I'm ensuring the truth is seen. You don't get to twist reality anymore. The world is watching, and the people who matter know the truth. Your lies crumble in the light. Margaret's hands clenched in front of her. We didn't mean to hurt you. But you did, I interrupted softly. Every lie, every excuse, every manipulation, it hurt. And it still does. But I've learned something important. I'm stronger than the hurt you caused. I'm wiser, more resilient, and finally free from your control. David muttered under his breath. You've changed. You're different now, as I admitted. I have changed. Because of you. Because of this betrayal, I discovered strength I didn't know I had, and I will use it to rebuild my life independently, without relying on your approval or forgiveness. There was a long silence. Margaret's eyes glistened, perhaps with regret, perhaps with shame. David said nothing, his arms crossed, silent and tense. I exhaled, letting the tension ease slightly. I want you to understand one thing, I continued. This confrontation isn't about revenge. It's about closure for me. It's about reclaiming my dignity, my finances, and my peace of mind. You cannot take that from me anymore. Sophie's words echoed in my head. Your power comes from truth, not anger. And I felt the truth in every fiber of my being. Alex had reminded me to stay composed, and I did. My voice didn't tremble. My hands didn't shake. I allowed them to see me, calm but resolute. I wish things were different, I said quietly. I wish trust hadn't been broken. But some fractures are irreversible. I accept that. I forgive the past, but I cannot erase the lessons it taught me. Margaret looked away, tears slipping down her cheeks. David finally met my gaze, a shadow of recognition crossing his face. They understood, though, perhaps too late, the gravity of their actions. I gathered my folder and stepped back. This is where we part, in understanding, not friendship. I will rebuild my life guided by honesty and respect, not by manipulation. And I will succeed without you dictating my path. I turned toward the door, feeling a mixture of sorrow, relief, and empowerment. The confrontation was over. The truth was finally spoken. And though the relationship would never be the same, I had reclaimed my life. Outside, I breathed deeply, the weight lifted. Alex and Sophie waited nearby, supportive smiles on their faces. I nodded to them, acknowledging the journey we'd endured together. Closure wasn't just about the end of conflict, it was about the beginning of freedom. And for the first time in years, I felt it in my bones. My life was mine to shape, unshackled and unafraid. I sat at my desk, sunlight spilling over the pages of my journal. The apartment was quiet except for the faint hum of the city outside. For the first time in years, I felt a sense of calm I hadn't known before. Alex appeared at the doorway, coffee in hand. "Morning," he said, smiling. "You look peaceful," I smirked. "I am. Well, mostly. It's a work in progress, but I'm finally regaining control of my life." He leaned against the doorframe. "You've come a long way, man. I remember when we were piecing together evidence, late nights, endless discussions. And now?" "Now," I said, closing my journal and leaning back, "I've learned patience, resilience, and the importance of trusting the right people. Like you." Alex grinned. "Good to know my loyalty didn't go to waste." Sophie joined us, placing a small plate of pastries on the table. "And mine," she said softly. "I'm proud of how far you've come. Emotionally, financially, socially, you're rebuilding yourself on your terms." I nodded, feeling warmth at their support. "I've realized something important," I said. "Life isn't about revenge anymore. It's about growth, integrity, and surrounding myself with people who value honesty and respect." "You too exemplify that," Sophie smiled, reaching over to touch my hand. "We're proud to be part of your journey." I opened my journal again, pen in hand, thinking of the words I wanted to leave for my younger self. "I want to write something." "A promise," I murmured. Alex leaned closer. "A promise?" "Yes," I said. "To remind myself always that integrity matters more than approval, that self-respect is priceless, that trust is earned, not given freely." Began writing. "To the younger me, life will be hard. People will betray you, and your trust will be tested. But you will survive. You will learn, grow, and become stronger than you imagined. Value honesty, cherish loyalty, and protect your self-respect above all else. One day you'll rebuild yourself completely, and you'll be proud of who you've become." Sophie watched, eyes glistening. "That's beautiful," she said. "And true." I closed the journal, taking a deep breath. It feels good. To acknowledge everything, to accept the pain, and to commit to a better path forward. "It's freeing," Alex nodded. "And you're not alone in it. We're here, supporting you." You've rebuilt trust, relationships, and yourself. That's the real victory. I smiled, looking at both of them. You know, I've always believed that happiness comes from control, but now I see it comes from self-awareness, strong bonds, and choosing the right battles. I've fought the wrong fights before, but this one, rebuilding myself, was worth every moment of struggle. Sophie tilted her head. And you've done it with grace. That's rare. Grace and scars, I said lightly, laughing. I've got both, but that's the point. They remind me of where I've been and where I'm going. Alex raised his coffee cup. To rebuilding ourselves, dash stronger, wiser, and free. I lifted my own cup, clinking it softly. To the journey, to loyalty, integrity, and self-respect, and to the people who make it meaningful. Sophie smiled, and I felt a true closure, genuine growth, and the quiet strength that comes from finally reclaiming my life. The past would always be a part of me, but it no longer defined me. I returned to my journal, pen poised, ready to continue this new chapter of my life, one built on honesty, resilience, and the promise I made to myself.